What's up, MMA fans on YouTube? UFC 71 now officially over, and here we go. It was definitely an interesting night, so let's get right to the first fight of the evening. Caleb Starnes against Chris the Crippler Lieben. A similar fight that I thought Lieben fought last time against Jason the Athlete McDonald. Tall, rangy guy, limited striking ability, really good on the ground. Lieben style, wide open, wild, likes to hold that left hand a little low, look for that big looping left hook that he likes to KO people with. You saw Starnes take advantage of that pretty much throughout the fight. He was throwing some good straight punches right down the middle, rocked Lieben a couple of good times, landed some big shots in the ground. Even during the part of the first round, Lieben was taking some big shots on the ground. Starnes definitely won that into the second. And that second round looked like it was a nightmare for Starnes. He was able to land a couple of good shots early in the second, but as the second round wore on, he looked like he was just gassed completely. I felt if Lieben would have just pounced on him and flurried hard, he would have finished Starnes easily. But Starnes is a tough guy, was able to weather whatever Lieben threw at him, had some good defense, and even caught Lieben at the end of the second, got a takedown, was able to catch him hard on the ground, and I felt that's how Starnes probably stole that second round. Into the third round they go, much of the same, little exchanges on the feet. Lieben gets a takedown, Starnes is able to sweep, get top position on Lieben, and pretty much wore down Lieben on the whole third round, was able to rain down some punches. Lieben was working a lot from the bottom, really trying to catch Starnes, was working sort of a rubber guard, but wasn't really trying to go for any submissions. I think he was more or less trying to tie Starnes' arms up as opposed to go for submissions himself. But Starnes was looking for big blows instead of a multitude of blows, was looking for one big blow at a time here and there, trying to pace himself, because I really think he was tired. But nevertheless, he won a unanimous decision victory, so it's a big win for him. Lieben now kind of back to the drawing board again, because he's 1-3 in his last 4 fights, so he's kind of at a crossroads now in his UFC career. And Starnes now obviously going to get another fight in the UFC, probably going to be another tough opponent, so big win for him. On to the next fight we got to see. Keith, the Dean of Mean Jardine, against Houston Alexander. Keith, of course, off of his big win, many view a big upset win over Forrest Griffin against pretty much a nobody, not a nobody, but a no name, anybody's ever heard of in Houston Alexander. And like I stated in my prediction video, who is Houston Alexander? We'll find out tonight. And guess what we did? Jardine looked like he had him deer in a headlight situation. Floors him with his first shot, just had him rocked. And I don't care what Alexander says after the fight, he was rocked. Was able to clinch up with Jardine and started raining overhand bombs in the clinch to Jardine's head, then came underneath with a big uppercut that definitely wobbled Jardine's equilibrium. Did it again over the top, then underneath again with the uppercut, and then you saw Jardine just fall limp to the floor. His mouthpiece went rolling across the octagon, and it was over. Big upset win, sort of, because of the fact that Houston Alexander, just really nobody knew who he was or what he brought to the table. Well, we saw that tonight. Tough guy, big win for him. Crushing defeat for Keith Jardine. Fight that many felt he should have won easily. Maybe if he composes himself a little more instead of rushing in, doesn't get caught, but that's what happened. So back to the drawing board for him, and Houston Alexander turns the 205-pound division upside down just a little bit, but we'll get back to that later. On to the next fight, Terry Martin against Ivan Salivary. Ivan Salivary back after his long absence from the UFC, almost 2 years, against Terry Martin, new to the 185-pound division, had his debut back at UFC 67 against Jorge Rivera, was successful with a KO in that fight, fighting a big-time veteran of MMA world in Ivan Salivary. He's fought everybody, Matt Lindland, Joe Riggs, a lot of good fighters under Salivary's belt. And Salivary looked very composed, very patient in the opening moments of the fight, was working a nice low kick inside, a couple of straight punches. Martin seemed more aggressive, wanted to clinch up, wanted to throw some big shots. Salivary was content to keep the distance. I believe Salivary slipped. Martin was able to scramble, get his back, and Salivary looked to be securing a Kimura from the front, but during the course of that, Martin scoops him up and slams him on his head, and was raining shots that looked like to the back of Salivary's head, and I was wondering why the referee didn't call a foul, but apparently during the course of the takedown, he knocked Salivary out. Ivan really didn't complain about it too much, so I guess that was the case. And another huge win for Terry Martin. Looks like he's a player now in the middleweight division. Looks much better at that weight than he did at 205. Looks like he's going to be a hard guy to contend with. A short, stocky guy, good wrestler, awkward style. So big win for him, and back to the the drawing board for Ivan Salivary. Hope he's able to get his game back and come back stronger. But big win for Terry Martin. On to the next fight, co-main event, Karo the Heat Parisian against Josh Berkman, and this fight went down much how I saw it. Berkman really not great at anything, okay at everything, but not great at everything. Good wrestler, not a great wrestler, decent stand-up, not even good stand-up, and cardio was a big factor in this fight. Karo was able to dictate the pace with his stand-up, was landing some good shots, some good straight punches, some good overhand rights. Berkman definitely does have a good chin, though. That's something I'll definitely give him credit for, because Parisian was hitting him with some shots. He was pasting him, and Berkman was able to eat those shots and be able to not really be rocked from any of the shots. But Karo, with the threat of the judo, definitely had Berkman weary when they were clinched up. You saw Berkman definitely not as aggressive as he would be with other fighters. Karo was able to secure a couple of throws during the fight. I think the only real big-time offense Berkman mounted in the fight was a big takedown in the third. Karo was able to scramble out of it, get back to the feet, and dictate the pace of the fight again with the stand-up. Berkman really didn't mount much of an offense at all in this fight, was just looking for a big shot to try to just KO Karo, and it didn't happen. And like I stated before, cardio did play a big factor, because Karo was definitely fresh throughout the entire 3 rounds, whereas Berkman was definitely wearing as the fight wore on. So looks like Karo is now a player again in that welterweight division. Definitely should be seeing a title shot soon, and fighting another tough opponent, then definitely being in line for a title shot. Nevertheless, big win for him. Now on to the main event. Chuck the Iceman Liddell, reigning light heavyweight champion, 2 years now, going strong against his last opponent that he lost to, Quinton Rampage Jackson. And I called it on my prediction, gave the fight to Quinton obviously, and he delivered. Definitely the American audience, the big light jitters didn't affect him as many people thought. His so-called subpar performance against Marvin Eastman, he knocked Marvin Eastman out. How was it a subpar performance? I mean, come on. It's kind of funny when you hear people say that, but both fighters come out. Rampage is standing with them, doesn't look intimidated, is willing to exchange with Chuck, lands a nice jab, a lot like he did in that first fight, was able to land some nice jabs in that first fight, landed a good one in the first round, was able to stagger Chuck back a little bit. Chuck drops his left hand, goes for a looping right hand like he likes to do, misses, and Quinton comes with a right hook of his own right on the chin, stiffened Chuck up immediately. Chuck hit the ground, Quinton pounces on him, slams down with the fists. Fight is over. KO stoppage for Quinton Rampage Jackson, your new light heavyweight champion of the world. What can you say? Everybody's going to cry upset. It's not an upset, folks. Just because you don't know who Rampage is doesn't mean it's an upset. This guy's a legit 205er. He has been for years. Everybody's going to look at the fact that he lost to Vanderlei and to Shogun. Shogun and Vanderlei are great fighters. I mean, they're not cupcakes. So, and obviously Quinton isn't either. He's just got that tailor-made style that Chuck has problems with. Quinton's a better striker than Randy Couture, more athletic at this point in his career, and just has that pressure, has that pace that Chuck doesn't like. Chuck likes to fight, dictate the pace. Quinton likes to push the pace, and a lot of people tend to forget Quinton was in K1 before he made the jump to mixed martial arts, so he's got some big time kickboxing credentials, and we saw that with that big right hook that he threw. Many people didn't see it going down like that as quick as it did, but nevertheless, huge win for him. He's going to be going on obviously now to fight the Pride 205 champion Dan Henderson and their welterweight champion, which is their 183-pound class. So it's going to be a great second half of the year in MMA. We're almost in June now, so definitely some big things. Chuck now without a title, everybody's kind of, I guess, in disarray because Chuck doesn't have the belt now. They don't know what to do. Everybody, like I stated, is going to cry upset, but it's not an upset. Quentin handled him very well in their first fight, did it even better their second, and even if a third fight happens, I don't see it going any differently. And that's it, folks. It's just it's a done deal. Hope you guys enjoyed the segment. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Memorial Day weekend. Be safe out there. Everybody likes to party, have fun. Just, make sure you're safe. Take care and have a good one.